This is my home office. Both me and my wife work from home. And we've been working from home we've been working from home for about 2 solid years, and it's actually been really, really cool. I can't even imagine going back to an office, but I'm sure eventually in the career field that I'm in, I will eventually have to go back to an office. And I'll be fine. We'll work through it. Right now I'm actually off work, but this is my home office. This connects directly to my job. And Yuri is over here doing video editing. The other way that we make money is to do online assets, create passive residual income. Right now it's not that much, but we do see an increase in it. It's not really enough to live on right now, but eventually it will. If we keep working at it, it's a lot of hard work. It's not like a get-rich-quick scheme or anything like that. It's actually a lot of hard work. And we make money with websites, YouTube, and some other small revenue sources, but those are the main things is AdSense. And we try to build up the followership on there so that it can make a little bit more by creating content that helps people out. But my job, what I do online over here, which is what feeds us, is I do information system security for different organizations. Remote work, also known as telework, telecommuting. They have other names for it, but those are the main names that I know it by. And so this organization that I work for, it's basically spread all over the United States. So even if I was to go to an office, all of the places that I have to work with are all over the United States. So that's why it's okay with this particular organization to do teleworking, because basically all of us telecommute, because even if you're at this place, you have to work with these other satellite offices. And so all of our customers and all of our assets are all over the United States. And so that's why this is. And so if you're looking for an organization, that's what you kind of want to look for, is people who basically have to do their work from anywhere. The jobs are out there, but they're still kind of rare. But I've noticed that more organizations are getting a little bit more open to it. And even some of them do like this flex time thing where they allow you to work part-time from your home and then work from the office. And so they kind of split the time. It's called like flex work or something. I don't know. But this is awesome. I really, really like it. Some of the perks about it that I like is that I don't have to wear formal clothes. I can wear whatever I want. Look, I got camo pants on and a shirt with an E on it, and I mean I can wear whatever I want. It's really cool. And another thing I like about it is I get to spend more time with my wife and my kids, and we can do more. If there's anything I need to do as far as going to my kids' school, I can do that. Very easy. The problems with it, some of the negative side is sometimes my kids, when they're home for the summer, they don't really know. They don't understand. Since I'm there, they think that it's playtime, so they're always trying to grab me to go do this, or Daddy watch this, or Daddy watch that. And I'm like, hey, I have to work. I'm on a meeting, and I'll be on meetings all day long, but they don't understand that, hey, when it's time to work, it's time to work. That's something they don't really get. But so that's one of the negative things. Another negative thing is that I feel like I'm never really off work, because it's because like when you work from an office, you can just, when you leave work, when you leave the office, you are no longer there. Your system's off. You're out. But since I work from home, it's like sometimes I'll do extra hours because I can stay on. It's kind of a double-edged sword, because it's more flexible. I could work earlier or later hours, but at the same time, it's like, when does work really stop? That's kind of one of the negative things I found about it. So in this series, what I'm going to do is show you how I was able to find a telework job, and then kind of the ins and outs of it, and kind of the lifestyle of doing this kind of work, working from home. it's been really, really rewarding. The biggest thing about it is that I'm able to help my wife with our online business or offline businesses. I can kind of help her, just kind of sneak over to the side and kind of help her out a little bit, and then go back to work in my meetings or whatever. So that's kind of the biggest, for me, that's the biggest benefit of it. Another thing that is we get to actually spend so much time together. And I think if you're one of those people who really needs a break from your family, and I know lots of guys like that. And there's some times when the kids are getting out of control, or teenager problems and stuff. And yeah, it does get like, man, I just wish I could just get away from the house for a bit. And yeah, I do have times like that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes those times do come up where I just feel like I need to just get out of the house. And right now, working from home feels like you're always in the house, especially because how many hours I put in each week. It does kind of get like that. But overall, I really love it, and I would take a huge deduction in pay to do what I'm doing now, because it's so rewarding. It's so much more time with my family, so much more time to help out with our extra micro business, and it's really been great. So in the next couple episodes, I'll show you some of the other perks. I'll show you some of the lifestyle of it. I'll show you how to actually find some telecommuting, remote work jobs out there, and maybe even tell you some of the industries that are best for doing this kind of thing. And any other questions you have about teleworking, telecommuting, remote work, it's really, really awesome. And I really can't see myself doing anything else going forward. It's been so cool to do this for 2 years. There was a time when I'd had another job, but I was an instructor. I was like a teacher, and I was teaching a government agency. But the company was having me fly something like 75% of my time was spent flying to other states and other countries to go teach. That was brutal. I'd rather work in an office than do that. I would say you always have to add 10%, and we'll talk about this in another video. But you always, when they say, okay, you have 10% travel, right? If they say 10% travel, it's actually more like 15 or 20% travel, because you got to factor in the time that it takes for you to get ready to fly and the time that it takes for you to come back from flying, especially if you're going across the country, because there's always like 2 or 3 travel days coming. And it may not sound like a big deal, but when you factor in all the travel days, especially if they're all long flights, it really cuts into your actual living time. And so if they say 10%, that means 15, 20%. If they say 5%, it means 10%. If they say 75%, it means 80%. If it's over 70%, you're basically traveling constantly. And that's what I was doing. I was traveling. It was like 80%. But altogether, it was like I was always gone. And it's way better to just do a 9-to-5 job working in an office if they're offering that much. I would say where it would be worth it for me would be if it was only about, what could I stand? Probably about 30%. If they said, okay, it's going to be 25%, then that means around 30 or 35%, then I could do that probably. But if it was over that, if it's over 40%, forget it. Because 40% means that you're gone every other week. And if that's okay with you, and if you're a single guy, you don't have kids or a family or anything like that, then, yeah, and if they're paying you enough, then yeah, I think that would be reasonable. But for me, like at this point, I'm just trying to spend more time with my kids and spend quality time. That I was really gone for a lot. All my early adult years were in the military, so that's all I did was travel. So, I was gone probably, I don't know, 50% of a year, depending on what I was doing for that year, because I had a lot of different jobs in the military. Then when I got out of the military, I was a contractor, and I was still traveling a lot. I was traveling something like probably an average of 40, anywhere from 40 to 35 to 40% a year. And actually, that was kind of fun because we got to go to places like Hawaii and Korea. Got to go back to Korea as a civilian. Italy. I went to a lot of really nice places. Germany, and it was cool. Actually, it was not that bad. But then I started going more intense. I went overseas to work for a couple years, and that took a lot of my time away from my kids. And then I also went and I worked at this job, like I said, where I was working 75% just traveling. That's all I did was travel as an instructor. And I will not do that again. I mean, unless I'm desperate. If I have no job or whatever, then yeah, of course I'll do that. But I don't recommend that. If you have a family, if you value your time with your family, then don't do it. But this overall, it's awesome. It is awesome. If you love being with your family, then it's incredible. If not, if you need time away, like some of my friends have said, like I can't stand to be away with my wife, or I need time away, or I need a break from my kids, and yeah, office is the way for you, and this is definitely not what you want to do. See you guys later.